has been racing here before in Columbus, and of course this year he's taking care of the folks from an EMT standpoint. Well, we come to a good part of the program for you folks. It's the 125 Pro main event today, and as we told you earlier, we've seen all these guys out earlier in a race that they were actually qualifying for gate position. However, they finished in that first time they were out, so it's what position they got to pick on the gate, actually. And of course, here's the starting lineup for you today as we'll run down the entire field for you. And then, of course, we'll send them into turn number 1, running for the cash this time. The number 15, Jimmy Wilson out of Willis, Michigan, once again. He's on a Yamaha. The number 26, Doug Dehan out of Thorndale, Ontario, Canada. He rides a Kawasaki. National number 63, Mike Caton out of East Sparta, Ohio, riding a Game Sport Suzuki, backed by the folks at Andrews. Number 95, F&S Suzuki, backed by Pro Action Suspension out of Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania. Davey Yesick, again a former champion in this Arena Cross Series. The 116, Justin Thompson out of Bridgeton, Ontario, Canada, rides a Kawasaki. The number 132 out of Wapakoneta, Ohio, on the AM Leonard KRW KTM, backed by Cycle Racing Systems, is Joe Aloff. The number 210 out of Sagamore Hills, Ohio, picked up brand new F&S Suzuki's on his way to Columbus this weekend. Vincent Carno. The number 396 out of Osiris, Ohio, riding for Cycletech of Osiris, celebrated his 17th birthday yesterday, Brian Lutz. The number 480 out of Millmont, Pennsylvania, riding on a KTM. Back in action is Damian Plotz, the number 516, a new pro rider in his rookie year here. Out of Fairborn, Ohio, on the Ohio Motorsports backed Yamaha, Mike Ivers. The number 522 out of Loveland, Ohio, on an F&S Suzuki is Brad Strunk. The REP backed 688 Yamaha out of Cleves, Ohio, of Paul Carley. The number 900 out of Ridgeway, Ohio. He's backed by Motorheads Racing and Mauser Trucking on the Suzuki, Todd Mauser. And rounding out your field of 14, the number 986 from Pontiac, Michigan, riding out a Suzuki is Jason McDonald. And that's your 125 Pro main event for you today as we get set to run for the bucks here in Columbus. Paul Carley taking a nasty spill over there in the north end rockers. And from what I understand, hitting the wall pretty hard from what the reports up here in the tower are. And I'm sure you folks probably got a little closer bird's eye view of it than I did. But amazingly enough, this hard-headed kid is standing back up to his feet. And I'm sure bell's somewhat rung, but amazingly, and thank God, standing on under his own power. A very scary situation. A lot of folks may be asking themselves, why did we stop this race? Because that was a very scary incident. We didn't know the severity of the crash itself, as the speed that Paul hit the wall at over there was very intense. So what we're going to do now is we're going to figure out whether or not we're going to have a restart, or whether or not we're going to call this an official race. And we're going to check with our official, Joe Seyfried, and to find out what the call on that is. So you got an official call for us yet, Joe? We restarting, or we're going to call it an official race?
No, they're going to line them up and restart it.
Going to line them up and restart them, okay. Like NASCAR. Put them back in a position, huh? Through the first corner, they're going to be going 4 laps. So we hear Joe Seyfried tell these guys 4 laps to the end. They're going to use a flag. They're going to use a flag to start the race, a green flag. Once the green flag goes, we're back in the racing. And this is pretty interesting. Again, something I've never seen before. This definitely ought to change the face of this race. The last 4 laps ought to be very interesting with Caton and Yezik and Carno, Alof and Potts all so close together through the top 5. So when the head flagger Rick Bond has got the green flag at his side, want to understand what he's going to do. When he lifts the flag up to his side, to above his head, that's the go signal, and then we get into racing action. And we're off and going. So very interesting. Caton still the leader. The 95 of Yezik is second, and Alof, the 132, takes advantage of the situation, moves to third. Wilson takes over fourth, the fourth, the number 15, and Carno has now dropped off to a 5th place position. Wilson and Carno together. Strunk takes over fourth, but Carno still holding on to 5th. Here comes Damian Plotz, a bad restart for him, and really it seems like Joe Alof getting the better end of that restart.